Last week at the SEE 10 meeting, I met up with René Fietsmuller, Jan George, Sander Steffen, and other members of the Global NOG Alliance. About a month ago, they started the Keep Ukraine Connected initiative, which is aimed at actively helping to keep the Ukrainian internet up and running by gathering and transporting essential hardware into the country. With the first shipment having now been delivered, we met up on Zoom earlier today to talk about how things went, how all this got started, and what's coming next. What's been happening since then? The first shipment has been delivered, right? When did that actually happen?
Oof.
It
was
Wednesday.
Yes, 13th.
So when I last saw you, I think you were still stocking up the truck, and then it was you, René, who drove the truck from Ljubljana to Ukraine.
René left in the middle of SCE meeting, like 12 or something.
I think I left Wednesday, and then I had a trip back then via Austria. Then I had some crazy weird experience with this mouth cops from Austria.
Okay.
They catch me at the highway and asked me, "Hey, dude, you had a break at McDonald's?" I was thinking about, no, I was at a gas station to refill my tank. What happens? Yes, we looked for you the last 2 hours, but it wasn't possible for us to catch you. I said, guys, why? But you can open your door on the back. Yes. Oh, what's that? Yeah, it's the donated stuff for Ukraine. Oh, it's the first time we see it. And that's a point you need to think about. Everyone is seeing only like humanitarian goods, what we need, what we know, like clothes, jackets, mattresses, food, and all this stuff. Nobody cares about what happens with the technical infrastructure during a disaster. It was like unbelievable. The guys asked, why are you shipping from Germany via Czech, via Slovenia, via Austria, via Poland to Ukraine, the stuff? And the thing, it's easier to pick up the stuff in different countries. And it's a long ride. It was like 3,200, 3,300 kilometers, but it's one thing, it's a community thing. From my point of view, it's at least what we can do. I was 4 or 5 hours later, and then additional 3 hours, I was ready for clear at the clearance unit. And then I need to go to customs, passport control on the Polish side. And then the same procedure on the Ukraine side. I think I started at the border. I started 11 a.m.
Yeah.
And I was in the country 7:30 or 7:20 p.m., 8.5 hours later.
What kind of things are you actually taking across? What goods are especially needed over there at the moment?
Fiber splicers. Then it was lots of switches, lots of power over Ethernet switches. Then it was wireless access points that they need to install into the bomb shelters. Because, you know, when there is no war or when there is no catastrophe, nobody thinks about that. If there is a war, if there are bombs falling down, people will go into the shelters, into the bunkers, and they will need to connect somehow from the shelters, otherwise they are cut away from the world.
Yeah.
And now they're looking for lots of access points that they can install there. So when there is bombing, people can call their beloved ones or stay connected to the internet and things like this. And you know, all these lessons that we are getting from Ukraine during the catastrophe, I think we will start thinking about also in other countries how to change our infrastructure to survive these things without major impacts.
So that's a massive amount of equipment that you're actually moving. How are you dealing with the kind of load there? I mean, picking things up from different countries.
That is actually the biggest issue we're having, and we're talking to a whole bunch of companies that are helping us out with that. But getting warehouse space where things can be sent for the donations, getting the logistics, getting stuff to the right people in the right place, that's definitely the hardest part. We're
going back a bit. How did this all start for you as the Global NOG Alliance?
we started this a month ago, just like, oh, let's help network operators in Ukraine.
Yeah.
And we were a bit overwhelmed with all the donations being made. So yeah, that was definitely the thing where that a lot of effort went into for the last week or two. Obviously, Rene drove the truck there now with, what was it, 14 pallets of stuff.
Wow.
But yeah, that's not his job. He can't. I'm pretty sure at some point somebody will start complaining if he's driving a truck every week instead of doing his job.
Yeah, but also I think it's also, you need to see it from the company point of view. It was an idea. I had the first trip, I think it was second week of March, and and the only thing what I wanted is explain what I've seen, etc., and how we can, as the Global NOG Alliance, normally we're supporting NOG organizers with software, mentoring, a bank account, getting money from sponsors, getting good speakers. We have a speaker database. We have an Indico system for call for papers, etc. That's very simple. We have a Docker, we install a Docker, we are configuring this thing, and then it's done. But right now, I had this. I'm 42. I had this experience. You was driving a truck into a war zone. You're entering the first border, and you see mummies are running away from the war with babies and without husband, without daddy. And then you hear on the other side crying babies and little childs, etc. This is weird. This is different, you know. And then we had a short board call, and I explained what I've seen and my feelings, my impressions, etc. And then I don't know. I'm sure it was Jan or Sander mentioned, yeah, guys, we need to do anything, and this is what we can do, and we have a lot of contacts into the industry. It's like software, hardware, programmer, script, BGP, routing, switching, etc. That's our daily business, and how we can integrate and how we can live this life. And my claim, my motto is, I live this community and I love this community, and how we can support the Ukrainian people with our local communities. And that's what we have as understanding. We are the link between the Ukraine community and the global community to combine everything and find a solution to support the Ukrainian people.
How did that start, though? I mean, was it kind of your contacts in the community reaching out to you as a Global NOG Alliance, asking for support, or did you just want to help and started to contact them, or was it a bit of both?
I think we published this on Facebook, and then I sent an email to the right mailing list, and then the whole thing just exploded.
I think 3 Facebook posts and 2 tweets were all it took.
Wow.
And I think 2 mails to the right mailing list.
And this is also best example how important are social media at these times. And then I had chats with Ukrainian people, and the most recommended channel for communication during the war is social media. Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, also TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn, etc. It's the most common channel to communicate also with families, like a video chat via WhatsApp, etc. And this makes also, you need to think about how important our internet is. That's crazy to see, and that's the reason why we then said, okay, send us all equipment what you have left over in your data center at home, etc. And then we got a lot of also private packages. It's not a bad thing, but at the end I opened boxes with jackets. You know, I don't need jackets, and the Ukrainian, I think, okay, it's wartime, but they are not naked. You know what I mean? It's getting from a Red Cross a lot of stuff, etc. But right now we are talking about how we can support critical infrastructures, not only critical infrastructures, but the internet infrastructure is, from my point of view, as a German point of view, a critical infrastructure, data centers, ISPs, etc. And how we can support that kind of infrastructures. And it was amazing to see what happens in a couple of weeks, or like whatever, in a couple of, it was 3 weeks up to the first trip. Yeah, wow. Exactly. We started, and then 3 weeks we had around 2 tons of equipment done.
So who else is actually involved on the team behind all this?
Yeah. So yeah, the core team is basically the 3 of us. Corinne helped with the website and the communications and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. She's actually information designer, so she knows how to structure information to make it come across better. And then we got so overwhelmed that Natalie was like, guys, you need, you need some structure. And she made it clear from the start that if we got her on board, she would be asking difficult questions and poking us all the time. Yeah. And we were like, yes, please, we need this.
Yeah.
And it was, Ellen, trust me, it wasn't a nice feeling.
Yeah.
The questions of Natalie, guys, why are you doing this way and not this way? Oh, man, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, but we really needed it, because when we sent out the message that we are doing this, I think 5 or 6 chat apps that I have started buzzing, and people started creating channels, and emails started to come in. So it's like it was overwhelmed, and we needed some structure at some point.
Yeah,
great.
And then I have at Flex Optics, it's my employer. I have integration of IT Jira IT management system, and then I sent a mail to Atlassian. Hey guys, we have this and this and this, and can you give us sponsoring for a couple of months to have a structure, to have the possibility to have tickets and incoming tickets, outgoing tickets, knowledge database like Confluence. Oh yeah, no problem. You get it for 12 months for free. Okay, I'm happy. I will set it up, and then it's fine. To start to have a real structure, and this was a point. I'm really happy. Natalie was joining us. On a clear way, we was after 2 weeks, or 1 week, massively overloaded, and without Natalie and without Corinne.
Yeah.
I know all 3 of us, it is impossible to survive this kind of storm. What happens?
Well, I had a massive burnout like 8 years ago now, and that was coming back, like all the messages and my phone not being silenced for 10 minutes. I had a couple of days where I was just, my brain was so busy with being busy that I didn't actually get anything done. I don't know if you know that feeling, but you're just thinking about so many things that you freeze up.
I was so happy that there was a weekend in between when there were not so many messages, so my brain could process what happened. All of us are like bulls, we go through the walls, and we would be pulling this thing until all 3 of us would just get burned out.
Yeah, also Jan, he is not the youngest one. Yeah? Nobody of us, it's the youngest one right now. And Jan was thinking, oh yes, I have some service. I can drop this service in my car and bring it to a friend to look into what works, what not works, blah blah blah. Yes, and this old daddy is getting pain with the back instant, like.
Yeah, I got a massive hit in my lower back. Okay. I had to cancel the ITF meeting in Vienna, because on Sunday morning, after lifting these servers for Ukraine, I woke up in my bed, and then I needed like 20 minutes to be able to stand on my feet. It was painful for the whole week. But then Natalie joined. She said like, hey, Jan, daddy broke his back, and now you need some help.
And of course, as well as you guys on the team and all the very hands-on work that you're doing. I understand there's other organizations in different countries that you're coordinating with.
We are now discussing with some warehouses, storage spaces in Poland. That we can ship all the equipment there, and then they can handle it for us, and then we need to organize how to get this equipment into Ukraine, into Lviv. We are working with the Ukraine Ministry of Digital Transformation. So their Ukraine Internet Association, this association of ISPs. Yes, and also APPK, that's another association of digital rights and content and so on. And these are great people. They managed to get all the paperwork done for René to pass at least the Ukrainian side of the border. It was a pack like this, yeah. He showed us in, but still he had to wait in Polish side. So we are now trying to figure out how to organize to add bits and pieces of our shipments to the existing transportations that are going between Poland and Ukraine. Our next incoming shipment that I don't know if I can talk about the donors' names yet, but it's like 30 pallets of equipment. It's like millions of dollars of equipment. We need to figure out how to deal with it in a more automatic way.
Yeah.
And then right now we're working on a real stable. Normally it's stable right now. When I'm driving every month to Ukraine, it's stable. We have some storage places to collect the stuff, but I think my wife isn't happy when I'm going again to Ukraine. I completely understand. Then the thing it's a long ride. It's also 980 kilometers from Berlin to Ukraine border. Also, I can't work during I'm driving. You can have conf calls, but it's also very noisy in the truck. Isidro, it's not a 40-ton truck with beds on the back. Isidro. The thing is, right now we are talking to a big vendor, and the big vendor has a storage warehouse in Poland. It's 1.5 to 2 hours away from the Ukraine border. Also, we have a volunteering warehouse. It's 50 kilometers away from the border. We can use it also, but right now we have this challenge. For the Ukrainian people, normally it's very simple. From the theory, it's simple. You have some Ukrainian friends, they're going to Poland, grabbing the stuff with vans on a daily basis, 3 vans, 4 vans, daily base, over the border, back to Ukraine, and done.
Okay.
That's actually a big difference, because trucks have to go through the truck lane.
Yeah.
Vans don't.
Yeah. Vans can go to the normal car lane, and it's easy. You have not really a clearing procedure in this case. But with trucks, you need to open the doors. You need to explain what you have inside, why you have 14 pallets, and on the papers are 10 pallets. You know what I mean? And that's the point. And but also for the Ukraine guys, the men, it's not allowed to leave Ukraine right now. So right now we worked on a solution with Julia, or Julia mentioned to me a possible solution, exemption, to have an exemption for drivers when they are going to Poland and picking up some humanitarian goods. Like ski equipment is also, you can declare this equipment also as humanitarian good when you have not the focus on purchasing or selling the stuff on the other side. So then we're working on the Ukraine side right now with the DEPS together. It's a distributor, normally a hardware and software distributor for internet infrastructures. They have a warehouse in Lviv, they have trucks, and also in Kiev, a bigger warehouse. So they're picking this stuff up, bringing to the warehouse, and can deliver out of Lviv. And the last truck was going to another city. I don't mention the city right now. And they're distributing all this equipment to the local ISPs. So we have a working solution distribution network in the Ukraine, but not and that's a bad thing. We are European people, and we have not a real working logistic solution on the European side. That's painful at the moment. And that's only a border customs clearing issue. It's a political issue. I have a meeting with the Ukrainian ambassador here in Berlin to figure out how we can work with the Polish guys together. And also after this meeting, I will have a meeting with the ambassador of Polska here in Berlin, how we can, normally how we can be a little bit faster at the customs. It doesn't work right now. You know, the guys need the stuff, and I completely understand. We are talking about, and I never ever think about it. These are dual-use equipment. It's a high risk, normally high risk equipment what you can export. You know, and normally you can also go into the prison, into the jail when you're doing some bad things, or I'm completely understand it, but right now we have a different situation and we need to react. We need to ship the stuff into Ukraine. The guys needed this to have a working infrastructure.
I may add something that is important for this part of the story. The depths distribution was chosen by Ukrainian side, not by us. This was agreed by the ministry and these associations that they are going to use DEPS as a distribution unit. And what we are also missing is one very important part in this story is the backend system that Sander actually coded in like two nights, where we actually now register the donors. We create a username for donors and also for requesters from Ukraine. So the requesters can enter what they need. And on the other side, the donors are entering what they can ship and donate. And then some matching is done. So everything is one backend database that will sort of like a marketplace. For the givers and takers. And this is really important. And Sander is even making it even better, so people can automatically join and register, so we don't have to work day and night in registering usernames and giving them passwords. So yeah, all good.
But yeah, the other thing I think we should mention is a lot of people are asking us like, we got a couple of criticisms / questions at the start, like, oh, you're just collecting random old junk from European companies and dumping it into Ukraine. That's why we turned around. We are actually asking the Ukrainians what they need. But yeah, and we are. You don't want to know how many people are donating like small home routers and like I got 100 megabit hub lying around. Do you think it's useful? Like,
no.
So. Ukraine is actually like their backbone connections are 100 gig, 400 gig links. So it's not a small country. It's so that's one thing that often gets mentioned. The other one is, you're now sending some equipment, but then what? And I think it's important to like that's why we were also arranging longer term storage. Is that we're collecting a lot of donations now. We don't expect all the donations to be needed today. But you know, even if the war would end today, it would be optimistic to say that Ukraine could rebuild their infrastructure in a year. This is going to take a long time to rebuild. So I think it's also important to realize that just sending this first shipment over is just the start of it. We're in this for the long run.
Yeah. So you're obviously directly in contact with a lot of people over there who are doing this incredibly difficult work of actually distributing this stuff and planning where it's needed. Are you like talking to them about how difficult it is to go about this task of rebuilding?
There was a really an example that really drove it home for me. Like we just completed our first shipment. And we were like, yes, you know, very proud of what we achieved. And then the lady from the Ukraine ministry, yes, was like, yeah, I'm proud of my son because the day they started, he joined the army. They gave him nothing but a machine gun, and he spent the last 40 days in the ditch. And after 10 days, I was able to bring him a sleeping bag.
Wow.
Then you realize how relative everything is. You know, we're sitting here safely at home, like we're busy organizing the logistics and the donations. But yeah, compared to what they're going through,
we're safely sitting at home. Yeah, but you know, when all this is over, I think it's really important, and we are already talking about this with some people also from RAP NCC, that when war is over, that we go and meet with all these operators that did the job in the country to keep it up, to keep the lights in the fibers and internet packets flowing, and actually have a serious discussion with them, what worked and what didn't work, and how can we make the infrastructures in other countries better, because it is a sad story that they have a war, but it is what it is, and we need to learn something from it.
Also, when you see what happens with us, it's like look to Jan and look to Sander. There are was newborn from a network engineer or IPv6 gurus into supply chain managers, you know. And it was a 3 weeks very, very high experience curve or learn curve. When you have team players, they have the same mindset, then you can be really successful in your help what you're offering. And I'm really, really proud to work with this team together. It's amazing, this mindset. And also like the first 3 weeks we worked on a daily basis with our daily business. At some point it stopped for 1-2 days. And then when I look back in the Telegram, keep Ukraine connected chat, the last message goes out 1:30 or 2 o'clock, and the first one was sending by 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. So we had 3-4 hours nap time, and that's it. And also with the supply and demand database from Sander, it was done in a couple of hours, and then it was implemented. So then we created for donators and also for requested by ourselves any accounts, and they can put any stuff what they wants to donate into the system. Then we know exactly what is arriving and what we can expect, and in which storage, which warehouse, etc. And also the requests.
I think it was one night. Sander
couple of hours.
The basics.
Refining.
But yeah, I think there's actually something really important because, well, Natalie's working for the NTC, but Renee is working for Flex Optics. Jan and I are working for 6Connect. At 6Connect, we have a daily stand-up call, you know, just touching base, just checking what everybody's doing. And for the last month, it's basically been, hey, Sander, what's up? It's like, I'm sorry, I haven't done any work. I was too busy with Ukraine. Okay, cool. Jan, what's up? Same as Sander. Okay. And, you know, we have this company we work for that for a month now, we're basically telling them, no, we didn't do any work. And they're fine with it. Well, a little bit of work.
We did, because 6Connect is now building a new Anycast network.
True.
And Sander and I are busy building the Anycast network all around the world. And the Ukrainian CCTLD came to us and said, hey, we need to reinforce the .ua country code TLD. And can you help us? So I sent them those servers that broke my back. And also we said, hey, why you don't put your domains on our Anycast network for free? Now, during the war, it's for free because we want to help you. And, you know, for example, one domain, I think com.ua has over 1 million records. And that shook massively our infrastructure, how we started building our Anycast network. And we said, okay, with a domain like this that is changing every hour, we need to do something differently. And then Sander and I, on top of all the stuff that we are doing for the Keep Ukraine Connected, we started actually rethinking and re-architecting our Anycast network and implementing changes, basically.
Right,
so
cool. Yeah.
That was also good, because now we have much better Anycast infrastructure for SysConnect, right? That is serving like 60 or around 60 Ukraine domain that are basically like .ua, and then it's com.ua or pl.ua or kharkov.ua or kiev.ua, you know, all these things. And
yeah,
actually we did something for
True. Yeah, it was a mixed mixed effort.
What does the week ahead look like? Is there a lot to do this week? Have you got a bit of a pause now, or
pause? Well, what are you talking about?
So we had a call from one big vendor. So there is there's this guy Peter Lodberg that you maybe know. He saw our message, and he sent this message to big vendors, companies at the CXO level.
Okay.
And then we got contacted by a couple of really big companies that are producing hardware. And they said, okay, we can help you with logistics, but also can you please get the list from the Ukrainian side, what equipment they actually need, the specifics. And we got them the list that the Internet Association brought together with asking the operators what they need to repair the network. And now I think they're sending like 600,000 euros worth of equipment to us. That's new equipment that we need to make sure that it gets into Ukraine and distributed to the operators. Because what they decided to do is they are kind of anticipating where the strikes will be, like Kiev, for example, and they're trying to build the infrastructure around these points. They're trying to increase the capacity upfront around these points where they expect that there will be shelling, and you know, they need this equipment. And currently we are busy and talking to all these big companies that are willing to send the equipment, and trying to figure out how to get it into Ukraine as fast as possible.
Well, guys, thank you very much for coming and talking to me today. It really is phenomenal work that you're doing, and I wish you all the best of luck with the work that you still have ahead of you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks,
All right,
Alan.
cool.
Thanks.
Thanks a
Bye-bye.
lot, guys.
Cheers.
Bye.